All right, everybody, what is going on? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well on this Sunday, the first day of a new month. And you guys know what I like to do on the first day of a new month. I like to do a little bit of a state of the channel recap, talk about the month that we had, talk about the month we hope to have going forward, and just say my thanks for all the growth we've had. Now, in the month of February, I did make a video talking about how the channel hit 21,000 subscribers. So that was the most recent notable milestone. As of me recording this video, we are just like 2 subscribers short of 21,100. So there is growth. The channel continues to do well. In the aftermath of the Super Bowl, we did see a little bit of a surge. Obviously, as I indicated before, I think the channel has more or less peaked in terms of its rate of growth. But I do think as long as we keep putting out videos, as long as we keep doing what we're doing, things will continue to at least head in the right direction, just slower than it was in some previous seasons. But I just want to say, first of all, talking about February, thank you for the great month. It was a great month, truly, on the channel, not just as a content creator, but as a fan. February was great. The team won the Super Bowl. The team won the Super Bowl decisively, and we had a lot of fun with that. Obviously, that only encompassed like the first half of the month because the first week was just talking about the lead up to the game, and then the second week was talking about the aftermath of the game. So there is that encompassed about half the month, which is good, certainly, but February does tend to be, other than the Super Bowl, the slowest month of the year. So it was really nice to have this team get into the big game and then actually go on and win it. So February ended up being a really cool month. We got close to, I think we didn't quite get there, but we got very close to 400,000 views on the channel, and we got over 41,000 watch hours, and we also picked up, I think, on the month, a little less than 200 subs. So, really cool month. Normally, February is like dead around here. Even if the team makes the playoffs and even if they win a game, you wouldn't expect a lot to happen in February because it is such a inactive month for football stuff unless your team is playing in the big game. So that was awesome. Shout out to the Seahawks for getting there and getting the job done. And thank you to everybody who watched, who subbed, who liked videos, who donated, who did anything on the channel. I appreciate it a lot. We did the typical stuff during this month of football that you would expect at the end of the season when your team is playing in the big game, of course. So that got us off to a strong start. But then the offseason started, and we went through decisions the team had to make on their roster. We went through some of the outgoing free agents, some of the contract extensions that are on the table. We did the entire free agency primer, which was nice. I ended up not spending as much time on the primer as I usually do because there were a lot of positions I could just ignore. I didn't have to really think about quarterback. I didn't have to think about defensive tackle. I didn't have to spend time on the more higher priced offensive linemen outside of right guard. So there was some stuff I got to just kind of jump over, which is nice because it allowed me to get through it by the end of February, which is great. And we did a great job. We did a great job going through the stuff that needs to be thought about in terms of free agency. We went through news that we got concerning, like, does DeMarcus Lawrence retire after all? We've been hearing some buzz about that. We got the NFLPA report cards. We've got on all kinds of cool stuff. The Torrey Horton injury thing, which that's not so cool, but it is news. We're continuing to do more mock draft stuff. We're continuing to talk about the offseason that we hope to have. But for the most part, the second half of the month was all about the free agency primer. Really proud of that. So, by the way, if you want to catch up on where things stand with the free agency as we head into it, definitely go watch those videos. They're all up on the channel. I think there are a few dozen of them. We had the combine at the end of the month. That has continued on into today and, well, a little bit into tomorrow. So we're going to do combine stuff continuing on into March, but got started on that. So that was great. A lot of fun stuff happening in Indianapolis right now. And that was mostly February. We did a few streams. We did the Hawks Nest streams, but that basically encompassed it all. It was a lot of videos, Some of the videos obviously don't get a lot of traction because they cover niche topics, but I pride myself on trying to cover as much ground as possible on this channel. And occasionally some of that ground is not the most compelling ground to cover, but I still like to do it anyway. So that was February here on YouTube. Like I said, we got relatively close to 400,000 views, which is great for a month like February. And we got to see the team win it all. What else can you ask for? So thank you for the great month of February to everybody. Obviously, I owe a lot of thanks to the team, but at the same time, I thank the viewers. It was a great month, and I'm really happy that we were able to get to this point. And now we turn our focus to March. So the month that we're going to have on March, there are a couple different elements at play here. It's obviously the off season, but things are going to be action packed nevertheless. So let's start with one thing. First of all, my contract with Sleeper is expired. It ran through February. So Sleeper, you're not going to see any more Sleeper stuff on my channel for the time being. Now, maybe things start back up when football starts getting played again in August and September. I don't know. But for now, the Sleeper contract is done. So I want to thank Sleeper for working with me during the NFL season. I want to thank them for hanging with me through February as well. Was a good arrangement with them. I appreciated it. So Sleeper, that we are moving on from. Maybe something else happens. I'm not sure yet. Just keep an eye out. I'll be keeping an eye out. But thank you to Sleeper for working with me during this season. Went well, in my mind anyway. And that's one thing that you'll notice going forward. Sleeper, you won't see the branding on the channel, you won't see the ad reads, but going beyond that, the main thing that happens in March, and this is one of the biggest things I do on the channel every year, is the free agency frenzy. Basically, Monday through Friday, the first week of free agency, like the first half of it is tampering, and then the second half is actual open free agency. But as far as we're concerned, there's not really much of a difference. Basically, during that 5-day period, Monday through Friday, I stream from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. talking about stuff as it happens, as we get the news handed off to us by the Schefters, the Rappaports, and that crew. As they inform us, I talk about it live on stream. Done it for a couple years in a row now. It's always gone well. It's always done big numbers. We frequently have gotten over 1,000 people in those streams because I don't think there are too many other people that do that. There are certainly other people that cover free agency, but I don't know if there's anyone else that is doing 40 hours of streaming that week covering the draft, free agency's initial week as much as can be done. And that is going to be one of the big things I do on the channel this year. Those streams tend to be my best streams. So there's a lot going on there. Definitely check those out. Definitely hang out with me. I'm hoping that we hit good numbers this year because unlike some previous years, I think we're going to be very active in free agency. Like last year was active because of Darnold, D-Law, Cooper Kupp, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. There might have been one more as well. But this year we actually have a lot of money. And given that we're clearly in a Super Bowl window, I expect the team to be somewhat aggressive. So those streams going to be the main centerpiece of the channel this month. And that's obviously just the 1 week of it, but we're going to be breaking off a bunch of videos throughout the day from those streams as the Seahawks do things or maybe don't do certain things. And we'll basically just give our thoughts as things go by. I should have the chat on screen. I should have like a running news ticker on stream as well. I should be able to have like a running remaining free agent tier list as well. People like those. So it'll basically just be tracking everything about NFL free agency throughout the day as soon as we get word from any of the big sources. And through that, we will understand what the Seahawks are really thinking about doing this offseason. Obviously, not everything happens in that first week, but a lot of the big dominoes fall in that first week. So definitely try to show up. And, typically when I stream, I don't expect a huge turnout because I don't stream that often. I'm typically not somebody that really depends on the streaming, but for the month of March, I do hope to get a lot of eyes in there. I do hope to get a lot of people in those streams, and I do hope to be able to get some support through donations. It's one of two times during the year when I really hope that the donations go well. So anybody who feels like stopping by and supporting or hanging out, oh, however you want to do it. If you want to do it on occasion, if you want to do it throughout the day, feel free. It is 40 hours of streaming. Not that I don't take breaks. Of course, I'm going to have to go eat at some point, but understand that the conversations typically dip and dive and go all over the place, and we end up having a lot of fun in there, often outside the realm of discussing the Seahawks, outside of discussing football or sports in general. But uh, yeah, it is one of the two sequences during the year where I hope that the channel can grow a little bit and that we can get donations going. So yeah, that is going to be the main thing going on. But then we're also going to be introducing the draft content. I made a video, or I'm going to make a video about this later today, excuse me. But later today, I'm going to make a video talking about the draft primer. So we finished the free agency primer. Starting tomorrow, we're going to do the draft primer. We're going to run through some of the notable prospects in this draft, all the way from top to, I think we're going to go through over 250 players. So that's going to feature for most of the month, right? Because this first week before free agency starts, we're going to have a bunch of those draft primer videos. And then after the first week of free agency, we're going to get back to it. And the goal is to basically be done by the end of this month. And then we have April to kind of process what the team seems like they're doing. And then obviously that leads us into the actual draft. But the draft primer is going to be the secondary focus of the channel throughout this month because it's time. So that's a lot. That's going to be a lot of videos. And I know some of those videos are not really going to jump off the page. We're going to talk about prospects the Seahawks have no chance of drafting. We're going to talk about prospects that are very low level that may not get drafted at all. But the goal is to cover as much ground as possible so we have as deep an understanding of the draft as possible. And that's going to take a lot of time. That's going to be a lot of videos. So thank you to anybody who watches those videos and pays attention to my draft coverage. I do the best I can around here, and hopefully we end up getting to the bottom of things. So that's going to be the main stuff going on this channel. Obviously, there's going to be more. If the team makes any notable trade decisions, if there are any contract extensions, we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll see some new coaching updates because I think there are a couple openings on the staff. But that is most of March, I think. Those two things will be most of the videos in March. So all I can say is please watch the videos. I know that not all of them are going to jump off the page. A lot of them are going to be talking about low-level draft prospects, but that is part of the process around here. Twitch, it was kind of a slow month on Twitch. I didn't stream that much, mostly because I got sick, and I was sick for about a week. And when I'm sick, I don't want to stream. We finished Deus Ex Mankind Divided. We played through Fear 3, so that was cool. Both of those games ended up being quite good. Fear 3, obviously, a disappointment because of the franchise it's part of, but we kind of knew that going in. And then we started The Witcher 3. Yeah, The Witcher 3, we're a couple streams in. That's a game that a lot of people have been asking me to play for the last few years. Finally now getting to it. Finally now opening up the can on that one. I did a Battlefield 5 playthrough. That was really short. That was over really quickly. And during the month of March, going forward, the intention is we're going to have Witcher 3. We're going to do at least one stream. It might end up being two, but at least one stream. The new Poppy Playtime. I'm a little behind. I know I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to be doing Poppy Playtime. And that should be fun. I'm interested to see where that goes. And that's probably going to be it. Like, Witcher 3 is really long, and I'm definitely going to be pretty invested there. And then you've got the Poppy Playtime. I don't think I'll have time for too much else. So that's Twitch, almost to 800 followers over there, by the way. I think I'm almost to 2,000 followers on X, by the way. So give me a follow over there if you haven't already. And that's about it. All right. So thank you for the great month of February, people. Let's have a great March. Gonna be a big push, a lot of videos, but it's worth it. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Everybody have a good rest of your day.